So the biggest challenges continue to be some of the older regimes. So you look at something like the automatic exchange of information, FATCA and CRS, they're now, over 7 years old, and yet that's the challenge, in that they basically are, the compliance programs are beginning to tire a bit, and you just have to continually go back and look whether the compliance programs that were put in place are still fit for purpose. There are also unsuspecting areas, things like, say, for example, the FTTs, the transaction taxes. They remain a challenge and are perhaps not as well covered as some of the other areas. And I would say that perhaps the biggest challenge that I'm finding in my practice is tax integrity, or the overall governance or oversight area is where people feel extremely vulnerable, because what they feel is they don't know what they don't know. And that's an area of a big concern for many heads of taxes. In terms of what's over the horizon, CARF and the CRS upgrades are going to have a profound impact, to organizations. They're going to have to rethink the way that they're doing business. So that's a pretty major development. And the other area, which is sort of like kind of silently crept up, is CSOP, or that's the nice name. It's a longer way of saying Central Electronic System of Payment. This is a EU directive, or amendment to the VAT directive. And as soon as the start of the 2024, there will be a requirement to report on a quarterly basis all cross-border payments, and that's going to, I think, challenge EU-based payment service providers. So that infrastructure has to be put in place very, very quickly. So we're still at a very early stage, and I just get a sense that a lot of financial institutions or credit institutions just haven't got their head around this. Of course, you can leverage some of the architecture that's been put in place for FATCA and CRS and so on, but nonetheless, it is a different regime. It has its own dynamic. The data set is different, and people need to get a move on. Yes, increasingly, I think what we've seen is post-COVID, as people have come out of the lockdown, tax authorities have really sort of like gone to town with their audits. And I think, firstly, FIs, financial institutions, need to have some form of radar function just to understand what's coming up, and also use market intelligence. But really, all you can do is basically make sure your house is clean, so it's forever ready for any audit to take place. And that requires very much a systems focus, by which I mean is, look, no program, no regime compliance is going to be perfect. What you can do is put systematic governance of programs in place so that the chances of something going wrong are minimized. The other, obviously as an advisor, I would say independent reviews by experts are very important. So you almost do the audit before the audit has taken place. That's a very important part of any compliance program. That's a tough one. The conference is, I compare it to the one that I chaired last year, and you just look at just the quality of, the dialogue and so on. That's really looks extremely engaging and interesting. So I'm looking forward to all of it. But I suppose I have a personal favorite, which is probably around the CARF. I want to hear about, what are the experts around the world, the different, SMEs, what are they saying, and how they're interpreting those requirements.